Behind the Shades.
I know there's times in my paranoid brain where I'm where I'm like, I'm going to meet the person at this time and it's going to be around here and I'm confirming. So let's say, Michelle, if I planned a date with you for next week, Friday, right? So we confirm today, then a few days before we confirm again, the day of we confirm, just because I want to make sure. But I always put myself in a situation where, let's say, worst case scenario, something happens. I can at least afford the situation, right? Versus it could be, hey, Michelle, can you give me $20? Hey, Michelle, can you give me $40? Hey, Michelle, my car's not working. I remember a time where there was someone who their excuse, they always killed someone off. Someone always died in their family, right? And
Mm.
they got caught in such a lie where their mother must have died like 3, 4 times. Right? And when it was mentioned to them, they're like, they become all shifty, right? Because now the lies have overcome them.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when you're looking back on that, like, what's your response to something like that where the person gets caught in their lies and now it's about to hit the fan?
Yes. Well, I can speak to that because with this Jim, I'll call him Jim Man, which happened in January of this year. I believe he faked a cancer diagnosis. Same thing. I mean, and then I had to Google, like, do people fake cancer diagnosis to get out of something? And it was, yes, I saw stories all over the place that is a real thing. And so, yes, to people, yeah, several people die, the same person dies over and over. Always an excuse. You know what? That is a warning flag that is waving, a red flag that is waving right in front of your face. And too often, as forgiving human beings, we want to give them the benefit of the doubt. We want to say, okay, maybe this or maybe that. But if you see a pattern, if the same person has died several times, if, just things like that happen, just run the other way, because it's not going to be worth your time, which is what you said, you can't ever get back. Just move on. Just move on, keep on stepping, and don't look back, because they're most likely a pathological liar. And it's not going to be worth your time in the long run. And we all know that we're not going to change a person. We are not their rescuer, and we deserve more, a lot more.
When you're going through this situation with a romance scam, um, looking back, are you are you surprised that you went through something like that, knowing the type of person that you are?
I'm not surprised because I am naive in a lot of ways. I don't have a worldly wise worldview of life. I lived a narrow life when I was married. I'm not surprised. And now in hindsight, I see, and I am self-aware of my personality, especially narcissistic people, they love me. And I tell people, I make the perfect, and I'm saying this in jest because I'm not going to do this anymore, but I make the perfect narcissistic supply source, because they also are looking, as romance scammers, for the kind, nurturing, caring, giving person. And I want to say this caveat right here, is that women are not the only survivors of this. Men, and I want to do a sequel with men's stories, because men are survivors all the time, because women use their bodily selves, and they know what to do and they know what to say to draw in a man. And it's So women are not the only ones, I think more, but men can also fall prey. And you think, I'm an intelligent, strong man. It doesn't matter because everybody has the gaps and the cracks in their armor.
I know of a friend, of a person, sorry, and he he was on a date with a young lady, and she was ordering all this food and all this wine. And he looked at it and all the bottles of wine and everything. He immediately went to he got his cell phone, he pulled up his bank account, and he was just looking at, he's like, I gotta make sure I have enough for this. And I think that's, in a lot of ways, men and women don't see that as a scam, but in reality it is because this person is using, let's say, their looks, as you mentioned, their body, right, to extract from someone as much as they can. And with dating being something that is, for a lot of people, a very sensitive and very triggering situation, right? Because a lot of people have had so many bad dates. A lot of people are divorced and it's been not a good divorce. A lot of people are separated, it's not a good separation. They don't necessarily look at that because so many people want what's best for them and they're willing to use the next person. So I wonder how many of these scammers that's their perception. Not that I'm justifying it, but they're looking at it, well, maybe I should scam Michelle before she scams me. Is that a possibility?
Wow. Well, I think there's a mentality out there that maybe, if you've been in several of these situations, I guess that could be a possibility, but I don't know because I don't think like that. And so, but I realize that some people do. And in the example that you gave about the ordering all this stuff and all this wine and all the stuff, I think that, yes, and I'll give an example as well. I had a friend in Southern California a female who went on a date, a first time date with somebody she met online. And she called me afterward and said, I'm going through a really hard time and I'm surprised he didn't offer to pay my rent, and help me. And I'm like, it was the first date. You can't do that. You can't expect someone to offer to pay your rent or bills when you're on a first date. So there's a mentality out there that just says, get all you can while you can. And I don't know about the scam others before you scam me, because I don't even think like that. But I know some people do. So I guess it is possible.
Yeah, that came to me now because I was thinking, and first of all, if anyone who wants to pay my mortgage, please come pay my mortgage, right? But the reason I was thinking that is it's like that dance, and that dance has changed when it comes to dating versus I want to get to know Michelle and grow together, see what she likes so I can plan the next date and for the future. Now it's like, well, in my mind, she's on a date with me. This may be her third date this week and she has 4 other dates. So let me get as much as possible out of her before she either gets what she wants from me and goes on to the next person. So that's where my thinking was. And it's a strange way to think. But as you mentioned, maybe it does happen, right?
I think it does happen. Absolutely. And I've never been a serial dater. I don't date. I have, companions along the way, but, and I've had marriage proposals and all that through the 23 years. But I think it does happen because if people are saying, yeah, they've had, especially if you're on the dating sites, if you're on all the dating sites and all that, there's a thought that says, yes, this person, especially if they're halfway attractive, maybe they've gone on several other dates and what can I get? And in today's world with a, get all you can get mentality, I think, yeah, people they go after that.